Then we will go ahead and get started. I can see that we've got Jerry Willie, we got Bill Ganger, Bob Rollinger, and myself still waiting that Ajoy and Mitch hopefully will attend.
Mitch just joined in.
Okay. Right on, Mitch. We're going to go ahead and get started. All right, then we'll wait for Ajoy.
Right.
He's going to go ahead and get started here. We'll call the order for the April 5th, 2023 Washington County Fair Board meeting. At this time, we do have oral communications number 1. And at this time, anybody that would like to talk to us for 2 minutes per individual can do so for a maximum time of 10 minutes. If you need more time, we do that at the end, or you can talk for 5 minutes, or we have a maximum time of 30. Is there anybody that would like to address the board at this time?
Okay, if you would like to address the board, please raise your hand. I'm not seeing anybody, Gary.
Okay, right on. And we will move to Jerry's favorite portion of this meeting in here. Let's look at the financial report for fiscal year 2022, 2023 through February of 2023.
So you have the financial report there in front of you, like President Gary said, it is through February of 2023. The last financials you saw at your January meeting were for the December 2022. So nothing has changed since then. So you're looking at January 2023 and February 2023. So I'm happy to answer questions. There's not a heck of a lot of activity. The only thing I do want to point out is in February, we did have under the 4-H and FFA line items, expense line items, you'll see 2 charges of $1,250 each. And that is, oops, hold on, Joey is trying to get in. And that is our donation that we make annually that your board approves to the Oregon Fairs Foundation for 4-H and FFA scholarships.
Perfect.
Happy to answer any questions.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, yeah, thanks, Lee. Kind of on a, not necessarily a financial situation, but maybe. I've been tracking with you on some of our legislative action. I didn't look at the agenda to see, are we going to be talking about those bills, if they're moving ahead? What's our possibilities? Is that on your agenda for tonight?
I don't have it on the agenda, but I'm happy to talk about it under other new business.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good, just because, just to find what's the status on that. The other thing is, I just happened to notice that we have a lot of expenses for entertainment, but we don't have an entertainment income category. And I know that we've kind of changed philosophically how we deal with that over the last couple of years because of COVID. So where would I find entertainment income versus entertainment expenses?
Well, we don't make money on, we don't charge for people to see entertainment at the fair. So when we used to have our big national concerts in the amphitheater, and when we used to have rodeo and motorsports in the arena, then we had an admissions category. But we don't charge people to sit and watch the family stage or, you know, the dog show or the high dive show. We don't charge people to do that.
Yeah, that's correct. And for some reason, when I saw the entertainment expense amount, that I was thinking, okay, there must be some entertainment income in there, but I get that. And so we'll just watch for that as that comes down the pike. Other than that, yeah, I looked at January and February, pretty consistent. It looks like our budgeted income that we budgeted through June 30th, of course, it's going to be about $88,000 of black numbers, positive numbers. It looks to me like we're ahead of that at this point in time, and it looks like that's going to stay at that level. So that's a good thing. So am I misunderstanding? Is there something I'm not seeing in there?
Nope, you're right on track.
Okay. I don't have any questions. Thank you, Gary.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Nice beard, Mitch.
Well, I've been working on it. Yeah. There are those that would disagree, but anyways, yeah, kind of follow up on Jerry's. I know if I'm right, it was like around $500,000 in the entertainment budget. Is there a place where we can see a further breakdown of that?
Of what we spent at
Yeah.
last year's fair?
And,
We
then,
can,
and what's proposed?
well, this is the financial report for the current fiscal year, which is for the 2022 fair. So the proposed, the budget that you approved back in January is for the same amount. And we're still negotiating contracts for that. But we can certainly give you a list of what was expended last year.
Yeah, I would just like to see a breakdown of kind of where all that went. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Seeing no hands raised, can we get a motion to approve the financial
Make a
report?
motion, we approve the financial report.
Okay, Bob made the motion. Jerry, it looks like you're second. Everybody that is in favor, please raise your hand. Anybody opposed? Seeing none, the financials are approved. Okay, let's move on to 4-H update. Is Alan here? Yeah, Alan's here now. Okay, perfect.
I'm here. Pardon my voice. I'm recovering it from a cold. Basically, we are rocking and rolling. We have continued to add more 4-H members. The next fair-related event that we have coming up, we're going to be doing on April 12th, a Fair 101 meeting for all the families that are joining that have never done 4-H before. So simple questions as in, oh, I'm supposed to register to go to fair, or what's a premium, and things like that. We're really trying to provide that opportunity to families. So it's going to be like an intro night. And then the next meeting we have is our biosecurity meeting. So any kid who's going to be working with an animal at fair is going to be attending there. That's going to be the first Wednesday of May. And it's going to be the same crew that was there the last time. So looking forward to that. And then I need to get with Sergeant Nick because we have during Memorial Day weekend planning for the Washington County Sheriff's Posse to get with our 4-H horse program and do some clinics and learning about careers and also about showmanship. The kids are not going to be riding on horses, but the horses will be there and they'll be walking through and talking about showmanship and things like that. So looking forward to that event. And then I believe that's all I have for the next upcoming 4-H related things and fair. Any questions for me?
Alan?
Yes.
I have maybe one more update on this coming Saturday, the 8th, Saturday morning at the fairgrounds is the hog weigh-in, pig weigh-in.
Yes.
So, and I know last year I saw Jerry there, and I think all fair board members are invited and encouraged to attend. Well, if you want to show up, we'll be there in the morning weighing pigs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you, Mitch, for bringing that up, because that was going to be my question too, because I haven't got any notification of weigh-ins, and I really enjoyed that last year. It kind of gave me a little connectivity with then when I actually came to the fair and we flipped pancakes and all that stuff. I just felt like I knew a little bit more about what was going on. So what time's that gig on this Saturday?
I believe we start at 8. I'm double checking the calendar. But,
8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock's a little early for us urban folks, you know?
Some retired people get up early.
I know, but Ganger, you've always gotten up early and you're not retired either. So, okay, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, and this is the weigh-in for the pigs. And then when's the next one for the next weigh-in?
The next one, the sheep and goat, on May 13th.
And the beef weighed in on, I think, February 15th, so they're done.
Nah, the beef would be less dramatic as a pig squealing as we put it in a garbage can.
They have an opinion, that's for sure.
They do that.
I'll send a follow-up email to all of you, to the fair board and or to Leah to send to the fair board to make sure that you all know those dates and times, but it is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the usual time for April 8th and May 13th. Unfortunately, I will miss you on the 8th. I have a family event that's happening that time, the same exact time. So, yeah, want to make sure that you all are all in the loop on that. Any other questions?
Real quick, just on horse fair. I mean, don't have to be detailed. Where are we at there? Are we looking positive or not so positive for horse 4-H at Washington County this year?
So we will have all the youth who are going on to state fair will be bringing their horses to the Washington County Fair. The current thing that we've been talking about is them being right next to having about 6 stalls next to the posse. And so that's kind of what the conversation has been. We're going to invite, obviously all of the families are still invited, and we will have them present. And then for 2024, that's when we are planning on everyone being all together. We're all one 4-H program, all participating together. And so the event on the Memorial Day weekend, that's the first, the first step that we are using the arena all together and talking more about the changes that have been made by the posse and all those items. Good question though. Yeah. Does that provide enough detail?
Yeah, I just hadn't heard anything, recently, and I was wondering what tracking that was taking.
Yeah, there's yeah, more that we need to learn for the type of events that Horse 4-H does, and the changes that have been made to the arena, just to make sure that we are all, because we just do such a variety between the gaming and the showmanship and dressage and the mini horses doing the driving with the carriages. They've got a whole bunch of different needs, and having something that's all purpose is just, and it sounds like with the changes that have been made, we're getting there. So we just want to make sure that we have that conversation. Another thing that I wanted to mention too is we are trying to make sure with the numbers that we do have, because we do fair entry deadlines May 1st this year, that we make sure that we have enough time to, if anything needs to be changed, or we're going to be talking with Leah and Albert. But I mean, the things are already set up in place, and we just want to make sure that we are ready to roll with all the things that we need.
Along those lines, Alan, during our county commissioner and 4-H, or not, excuse me, 4-H fair board, joint meeting in January, I believe you presented a survey they taken, and are the concerns from previous fairs feeling like they're being addressed?
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, so I shared with all of you. So at the end of last year's fair, I had everyone fill out a survey asking for action items. What should we start doing? What should we continue doing? What should we stop doing? And really making sure that we have action items. It's not just, oh, hey, this is terrible. It's like, okay, but what should we do about it? And I feel like we are on a good track, because that's been a really good guidepost for me in really seeing, okay, like here's an action item we can do. Like, for example, small animal barn is super hot. And obviously when it's super hot, the animals aren't doing well and have to remove them. But action item was that they wrote a grant and they got $10,000 to pay for 2 swamp coolers, giant swamp coolers, to use and utilize it in the barn. And so that's, again, like finding something that's an action item and then going forward and doing that. So I feel like it's the same thing with horse. There's some things with other species, like I know beef particularly wasn't happy about being moved to the middle. where the show arenas are and our small animals are concerned, because they want to continue talking about where we are going to be showing the small animals in a place that is, because we were in that tent with small animals and the ride next to them was really loud. And so again, there's like feedback like that. It's like, okay, how can we work together to figure out the best solution? And so personally, I feel like we are achieving those action items. I'm not under any illusion that it's all going to be done or that it's all possible and everything's possible to change. Like, I think it can be incremental. I think we can grow into it. And I do feel we are in a positive trajectory there, but it definitely is going to take work and it's going to take some stepping up to continue getting there. But I encourage you, if you haven't looked at it, please take a look at it. I mean, it's just it's a lot of information, and there's, obviously people that have ideas of what needs to be done, which is good. Like, people need to express that feedback, but we also knowing like, okay, where do we stand and then where can we move forward? And then I saw Jerry's hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to get through the serious part of this and just make sure that everybody didn't vote that we got a different pancake chef for the breakfast for the kids in the morning. So, we still okay with that, Alan, that,
Absolutely. Yeah. And there were some ideas expressed last time of getting sponsorships and stuff to help with cost of the food things. I've personally been looking at local grocery stores to support other areas of 4-H, but if that's something that we can work together on, to just in-kind donation, like I know Costco, like they do in-kind donations of gift cards to buy certain things. So anyways, just throwing that out there as a suggestion as well. And we love having you all on the breakfast. We really appreciate that.
Well, and we can talk about this with Leah's 23 fair next item on the agenda, but I just wanted to take a little bit of a shot at Rollinger and Seidel and their pancake flipping abilities.
We are the only blue ribbon recipients that flip pancakes and serve sausage. I don't normally bring that up. I thought I wanted to do it before Gary embarrassed himself.
Yeah, you've rode that pony a couple of times, Bob. That's getting old.
Yeah, that cow has had 3 calves.
That's due to my fine showing.
All right, any other questions for Alan? Alan, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll get the summary of those events to y'all and would love to see you there.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Alan.
All right, moving on to old business, 2023 Washington County Fair update.
All right, well, I've got a few slides I'm going to run through here. It's April and for us, the fair starts on June 1. For everybody else, it starts on July 21st, but on June 1st is really the kickoff for the staff, where we actually start executing all the plans. So right now we are in full contracting mode, lots of contracts completed, contracts underway. We have to go out to bid for, anything that's over $10,000, which is almost everything. So we have our, team works very closely with the county purchasing department, and we have to go out to bid for janitorial and portable restrooms and portable offices and rental equipment and all sorts of stuff. So all that's been completed. The contracts are being done right now. We're ordering equipment such as radios and light towers, and our entertainment crew is working on reviewing all of the entertainment possibilities and who's available and what routing will work and what stages and what time, and getting proposals from the entertainers on what they cost and, getting those reviewed and negotiated. So that's pretty much what we work on a lot right now. So that's the most of what we're doing at this point here in the office. Any questions on contracting before I move on?
Just a quick one, Leah. I know last year we had a lot of trouble getting the big tents like we had in previous years I think they had the beef barn as in a tent along with the show ring. Is there any change in the 2023 fair?
So it's not that we had trouble getting them. It's our rental company doesn't own them anymore. They had to sell them to get through COVID, and they were the only company in the Pacific Northwest that owned those big type of tents in that size and that style, because they're really technically like buildings and with that shaded top. So the company, I know that, you know, they still, we actually have a long-term contract with them that's still in place. They hope that after they really get a couple more years under their belt and they recover from COVID a little bit more, that they'll be able to buy them again. But at this time, they have not replaced those.
Okay, so we did have trouble because they're no longer in business, but so for this coming year, there's no plan to have a big tent for a show ring and a livestock, right? Correct?
That is not currently the plan. It's a lot of it's, we're gonna have to wait and look at numbers. We don't know what the numbers are still at this point. So once all of the registrations are in and we work with Alan and Deanne on what the numbers look like, then we can start making some of those decisions. But at this point, we don't have any information on numbers.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Jerry, I see your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Gary. Leah, going back to this $10,000 limitation that we have there, that seems really, really low to me. Is that problematic? And if it is, how would I go about helping you come to a different number?
It's actually, it's Oregon public purchasing law. We've always complied with it. It's obviously a requirement for any public agency. It's really not a problem. There are things that are exempt, like entertainment is exempt. It's not a problem. It's just time consuming. It's just, writing the bids and the statements of work and all that kind of stuff and getting it posted. We have the most wonderful purchasing department. They work with us very closely. We, get everything to them. They post it all. They walk us through the process. They assist us through the awards and all, the reviews, and they do a great job. I don't have any problem with it whatsoever. I mean, when we were 4 days and a contract might come in at a little over 10,000, it was a little frustrating. But at a 10-day fair, everything is considerably over $10,000. So we just plan ahead and work on it early, and I don't feel that it's impeding us in any way.
Well, and I think there's two things for that. I look at the sheriff and Hillsborough police item that you've got there. Obviously, we don't have many options there. But then knowing that our procurement rules and policy has changed over the last few years to be equity focused, small minority-owned businesses, all of that. So does the procurement department at the county help you facilitate and make sure that we are in compliance with all of that?
Yes, they actually handle all of that for us. So we tell them we need a contract for janitorial. Here's what we need. We give them all the information, and they run it all through what's called OpenGov. It used to be called Procure Now. Now it's called OpenGov, and all of those rules for equity and minorities and co-bid certifications, things like that. They handle all of that for us. So it's not anything that we have to worry about, which is really handy. So some of the things on that contracting list, like Sheriff's Department and HPD, they're technically contracts. We run them through the contracting system, but they're actually intergovernmental agreements. Same thing with the Port of Portland. So some of those they are contracts technically, but we don't have to go out for RFP on those.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. Any other
questions?
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody else? I don't see any hands.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to, so WINGSPAN, what we're doing in WINGSPAN this year. So the expo hall obviously is going to be what it's been used for the last couple of years, and that's the commercial booths and the exhibits, and that's a big money generator for us. So commercial vendor revenue is a big part of what we do, and booth sales are underway. Our salesperson, Bob O'Loughlin, does a great job, and I think he's probably just really close to getting sold out on booth sales. But in the conference rooms, we're going to have our open class home arts again. Online registration begins May 1st. The book is already on the website. So if people are perusing to see what they can enter, it's already posted so they can start planning, and then registration opens on May 1st, like I said, and runs through the middle of July. And then those entries will come in right before the fair. FFA projects will be housed in the conference room again, as well as 4-H robotics. And in the meeting rooms, we'll have the Sheriff's Department uses one of the meeting rooms as their home base, their space that they use for their daily briefings and things. And that's also where our janitorial staff gathers. So the Wingspan is well used. If any of you have ever been in the bathrooms in the Wingspan during the fair, you will know that they are heavily used and highly appreciated by the public as well. Any questions about Wingspan? All right, so moving on, Cloverleaf is going to be 4-H again, like normal. So the 4-H hearth exhibits, the 4-H operations, which is, you know, their central gathering spot, restrooms and showers for 4-H members. Obviously the 4-H parking is happening there at the adjacent parking lot. And we will put the big 40 by 80 tent adjacent to the building again, like it was there last year and was in previous years. And I believe, and Alan can certainly correct me if I'm wrong, that he plans on having the 4-H dog show in there again and other 4-H activities. And then that's where the daily breakfast for the fair board will be occurring. I don't see any opposition, Alan, so must be right.
Can I ask a question about the breakfast?
Sure.
Could we have more tables and chairs for the youth while they have breakfast and they're not sitting on the ground eating their breakfast during the meeting time?
Yeah, we certainly can.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Leah, I have a quick question too.
Yeah.
I see that the Cloverleaf, it says restrooms and showers. Has there been a remodel, or are they able to like individualize showers now?
No. In fact, yeah, I guess they probably don't use the showers in there, do they, anymore?
Okay. Well, I understand that they're not really usable in the current form. I didn't know if there was a remodel or something where they are now.
I really wish that somebody would give us millions of dollars to remodel. So hopefully the legislature will do it, but it's not looking good. All right, any other questions about Cloverleaf? Okay, livestock and barns. So 4-H and FFA are the second weekend, but really move in Wednesday night and start showing on Thursday and run Thursday through Sunday of the second half of the 10 days. Like I said, participation numbers are not yet known. Alan and Deanne are still working on getting registration. So that will be done here in the next couple of weeks. It's due, I think, Alan just said May 1st. So hopefully by mid-May, we'll know what those numbers look like, so we can start working on a livestock schedule and barn placements and barn planning and things like that about where everybody's going to go. The sheriff's posse display is going to be in the barns as usual, meeting with our sheriff posse member, Nick Jones. I'm meeting with him tomorrow. So he's a great partner for us, and they really do a lot of great work. Their display is beautiful and the public loves it. And they also work in the parking lots and really assist in the parking lots every day during the fair, which is a great partnership, and we certainly appreciate them. The youth livestock auction is going to be held on July 29th. I have heard through the grapevine that the steak feed may be coming back. Nobody has told me that specifically, but I'm told that is coming back, but I haven't heard from the livestock.
It is coming back.
It is coming back.
back.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good to know. I will make sure that we are prepared for that, because I had not been informed.
So Leah, could you, or Bill, could you give me some more details to that? Because I don't think I've ever visited the steak feed. So where does that happen, and what's that all about?
Right now, on previous times, we had it next to the Dairy Wives booth, right up along the side of the show ring for the cows, and we would have a big tent, and that's where we would feed the people. The barbecues were out in the open area where we would fry the steaks and then have all the goodies for everybody, and we would eat there. And that's right close to the auction ring which ties with the next event after the dinner. And Dan Jordan, I think, is the chair of the steak fry. So, and I think they're trying to put a new name on it instead of steak fry, but something else. But, you know, it is planned to have it at this year's fair.
Great. Yeah, if you could ask the chair or somebody from the Livestock Association to get in touch so we can get the details, because we do normally post the steak feed on our website and we'll need costs and times and all that good stuff.
Okay, I'll have that done. And also I got a question too. Do we have superintendents for all species for the fair open class?
We do for beef and sheep. Well, beef, we do. I don't know about sheep. I haven't heard back from her or not if she's planning on coming back. So we'll just jump in right in and start talking about open class livestock, which is the first weekend, and online registration begins on May 1st. I did talk to Susie Ganger, and beef cattle are going to be showing, and she's going to be the superintendent again this year. We are going to have open class sheep. I don't know if our open class sheep superintendent is planning on returning or not. If not, we will find somebody else that can work on that project. Open class dairy goats, which we had a huge open class dairy goat show last year. They are not able to come back this year because the Dairy Goat Nationals are being held in Oregon on our same dates. So they won't be able to be here this year, but the superintendent, Susan, wanted me to let everybody know that they do intend on being back next year, so to hold their spot for them. So I'm working with a couple other goat organizations to see if we can get some other open class goats on our open class first weekend, and we'll see where we get.
Good, good.
Any other questions about livestock? All right, moving right along to entertainment. So we've got some new things this year. We're working on a drone show, which is really exciting. We've got an organization that is certified to do drone shows, kind of like what you saw a few years ago at the opening of the Olympics. So they've been working very closely with the Hillsborough Airport and the FAA, and they've been given permission to do a drone show here the first 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of opening weekend at dusk. It's a 12 to 15-minute show every night. Will happen right before we kick off the either the music or the evening movie and the main stage, which is going to be in the plaza this year. So far, we have 2 Nashville recording artists that are booked for the main stage in the plaza, and that is Shane Prophet and Stephen Wilson Jr. And then we've got some tribute bands for some other nights, a couple of really good tribute bands. We've got a tribute to Selena, which is, we've been trying to get that one for a couple of years, so we're excited that we finally got that one booked. And then we're also going to be doing some movies out there on the lawn a couple of nights. So look for more information. We're still working on details, and we're still in contract with negotiations on a lot of those things. So once they're finalized, we can certainly get you more information. We also have confirmed a BMX freestyle bike show and duck racing. So we're really excited to have the duck races back. We had the duck races back in 2002 was the last time we had duck racing, and they have been doing East Coast tours for many, many years now, and they've decided to finally come back to the West Coast. So we finally got the duck racing back. They were very popular about 20 plus years ago. So we're excited to have some entertainment that we are continuing. We're going to have the Super Science exhibit that has been popular for many years. The Backyard Family Fun area, which used to be the Growing Grove, but was rebranded the Backyard last year. We'll be bringing that back. The Tap House will be back again, featuring all the family stage. We're bringing back as well with family entertainment. We're going to put it in a new location. Last year, it was just kind of out in the middle of an area that was just really hot and really not very accessible. So we're going to try something new with that this year. We also have a bunch of strolling acts, and of course, the community entertainment. And those applications are on the website now. So anybody that would like to perform as a community entertainer, please register the website. Any questions?
Can we get Mitch to mute his mic? It's a lot of
Oh,
feedback.
sorry.
I couldn't tell who it was. Thank you. Okay, any questions on entertainment? None? Okay, you guys are making it easy. All right, so then just a couple other things. The carnival is going to remain in its expanded area. When we made it into the bigger area last year, I mean, it really worked out well. It was able to be spread out a little bit better. I mean, obviously the lines are still crazy long, but it gives people a little bit more room to breathe. So that worked out very well. And we're going to have 2 job fairs this year. So we do a lot of hiring right before the fair. We hire people to do parking, but the food vendors hire, and the carnival hires local people. So we run a job fair, not only for us, but for our partners. And we're going to be hosting those on July 13th and July 15th. So if you know anybody that's looking for some short-term work for about 10 days, please direct them to the job fair. And that is all I've got at this point.
Oh, legislative.
Happy to answer questions.
We were going to go into legislative.
Oh,
Sure, yes,
legislative.
talk about legislative.
Great. So thank you for that reminder. So the Oregon Fairs Association, which we are members, we pay a hefty amount to the Oregon Fairs Association. We pay them $2,000 a year for our membership, but that includes lobbying. Years ago, the Oregon Fairs Association did not employ a lobbyist, and we had really super low dues of $100 a year, but now they are employing a lobbyist, and we've got 4 bills, 2 in the Senate and 2 in the House right now for fairs and fairgrounds. So, and thank you, Jerry, for bringing this up. I've been doing a lot of submitting written testimony and testifying in person, actually in Salem, and testifying virtually as well. So I'll go over them really quickly. We've got Senate Bill 2948, which is a fairgrounds bill. It is for a capital improvement grant funding program. So I think some of you know that this program was ran last year. The legislature approved $10 million for county fairs in the state of Oregon. It was a grant program administered through Business Oregon. And the way it was written is that every fair could submit a grant and be potentially given up to $277,777. And every fairgrounds in Oregon, all 36 plus the Oregon State Fair, submitted a grant that was approved. So every fairgrounds is getting that amount of money. We are getting that money this year to replace our entire exterior fencing around the fairgrounds, which has been on our list to do for decades. So that actually kicks off on September 1st. But we've reintroduced that bill again to ask for another $10 million for capital funding for fairgrounds again. So we're hoping that that one goes through. The next one is Senate Bill 451, which its companion bill in the House is House Bill 2510. So you'll see in our financials and our budget that we get money from the state of Oregon. It's lottery funding. It's every year we get about $53,167. That money started being given to fairs. It's actually for fairgrounds and fairs. It's to run operations for your county fairgrounds and fair. We started getting that money in 2001. We have a cap on those dollars. So we get 1% of lottery dollars. And back when we lobbied for that money in 2001, that it's $1.9 million. At the time, $1.9 million was 1%. So the way we look back now, we kind of kick ourselves for the way we wrote that bill all those years ago, 21 years ago, 22 years ago, that we put in there that we wanted 1% or $1.9 million of the lottery funds. And that's what we got as 1%. So we are capped at $1.9 million. Well, 1% now is about $4.2 million. So we're asking for the cap to be removed in Senate Bill 451 and in House Bill 2510. Those 2 bills are getting a lot of traction. In our testimony, we've really talked a lot about the things that fairgrounds do for our communities. You know, we were COVID support centers for testing and vaccines. A lot of us were courthouses like we were. We run fire evacuation. We did the last couple of years, we've been cooling centers, we've been heat shelters, we've been homeless shelters. So we're really getting a lot of traction in getting that cap removed on the Senate and the House. Through every committee that it's been through, it has been moved as a recommended do pass. So it should be hitting Ways and Means here coming up very shortly. And if it passes in Ways and Means, then we're look like that cap will get removed. So that will actually be a game changer for us. That would give us, you know, instead of $53,000 a year, it's estimated that even the first year we would get a little over $250,000, and we could start really investing some money in, you know, equipment that would make the fairgrounds, you know, more accessible for wildfires and responses for livestock evacuation. You know, we don't have portable restrooms that we own, and we just don't have the equipment that we need. We could also do some remodeling if that was approved by the county commissioners. So we could start building up some money to actually really make a difference around here. And then the last, let's see, the last one is House Bill 2911. It is a COVID relief bill. So when everybody else was getting COVID relief money back in 2020 and 2021, every single time that money was given to a county or to an entertainment facility or for any type of program, fairgrounds were specifically called out as not eligible in every single program that was available. We did not qualify for any money, but yet we were really providing a lot of COVID support in our communities. So, and then none of us could run fairs in 2020. And so, you know, we all lost our revenue sources in that year in 2020 and 2021. So the bill is to provide the last bit of pandemic relief money to fairgrounds for lost receipts for the fair and lost receipts for our interim rental programs. So again, that seems to be getting a lot of traction because the legislature is very highly aware of everything that fairgrounds did for their communities during the pandemic. So if, you know, all four of these bills were to pass, we'd be in great shape. Our lobbyist will tell us that the odds of getting everything passed is pretty slim, but so far in every committee, we've gotten a really excellent response. Any questions?
Yeah, Leah, on that last one, House Bill 2911, if we were to get that, what kind of money are we talking about there?
You know, I don't recall off the top of my head, and I don't have it in front of me. I don't recall the amount of money, and I don't recall if it was open-ended, that it was just all receipts, or if some things were eligible and some things weren't. I just don't remember off the top of my head. I can certainly send you. I actually have the bills on my computer. I can just forward them to you.
Well, and I was just wondering, is there, is this going to be, is that like a grant money and we're going to have to ask for that money, or is it we're just going to get allocated that money?
It's not a grant. We're supposed to submit our lost receipts and show that the revenue, and we'd have to show some historical documents, like previously this was the amount of revenue that we received from our rental program, and this was the amount of money we received from our fairs historically, and that this is what we projected or anticipated or estimated that we lost during 2020 and 2021.
Is this similar to the federal government that is paying companies that had employees, and they get like $24,000 grant money for each employee? Is this the same similar plan idea? Do you know?
This is through the state of Oregon. It's not a federal program, and
No, but I mean,
it's specifically
same
for
concept?
lost receipts. It's not based upon employees.
Okay, okay.
Hey, Leah, have we been able to get all the county staff, your positions? Have they been filled yet, or we still have vacant positions?
In process of filling them. So Jerry will see that in the upcoming budget, we've requested 6 positions to bring back that, you know, we had pre-pandemic, to bring those positions back, and then some of the positions that were held vacant during COVID and beyond. So we're working on getting those vacant ones filled. Yes, that is happening. We are working on it. And then once the budget is approved, if those 6 positions are approved, then we will start recruiting for those. And then those 6 positions will make us almost whole to pre-pandemic numbers. Not quite, but really close.
I see Joy's hands up.
Go ahead, Joy.
Yes. Hey, Leah. This is a non-fair related question, but like, are there any discussions or like, concerns about using TLT money for the Hop Stadium? Was there any discussions or any discussions needed?
We were not included in any of those discussions about the Hop Stadium. I know the city, that's the city project that they're working on, and from what little I know about it, it's private money from the Hops and money from the city of Hillsborough, which I believe might be their transient lodging tax dollars, but I'm not sure on that.
Okay.
They, just on a side note, the Parks Department staff has reached out to me a whole bunch of times. They want to know how to produce events. They want to know how to produce concerts. And why normally I like to really, help fellow partners in the event industry, it's a little bit close to home to really help us, what's going to really probably be a competing agency.
Thanks, Leah.
Yeah.
So Leah, I guess I have a quick question.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so it's going back to those 6 positions. I'm just trying to understand. So the fair is a 10-day event. Are those are your regular full-time positions year-round? How, like, what proportion of those positions are paid by like fair?
25%.
Okay.
So every employee here at Westside Commons, everything gets allocated. It gets parsed up. So the fairgrounds gets a certain percentage, the fair gets a certain percentage, and the wingspan gets a certain percentage. So like for my salary, 50% goes to wingspan, and maybe it's 25 goes to wingspan and 25 goes to the fair, and the rest goes to fairgrounds. Or it's I probably shouldn't even talk about that because I don't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head now that I think about it, but that's kind of the general gist of it. So, but all of the maintenance employees, especially those 6 positions that we're bringing back in, they are exclusively for fair and fairgrounds, and 75% of those 6 new employees will be charged to the fairgrounds and 25% will go to the fair. So those are the maintenance employees that we used to have that maintained the fairgrounds on a day-to-day basis, painting and gutter cleaning and all that kind of mowing, that we just, during COVID, we couldn't keep those employees. So, and now it's just bringing those back. And those are specifically, they're not charged to Wingspan at all. They are specifically for the fair and the fairgrounds.
Okay. I just, how do you prorate a 10-day fair to?
Well, and they don't just work on it for 10 days. So
right, I understand that, but I just was anyway. So it's basically a quarter of that. The funding comes from the fairs.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that every time they mow the lawn, it's for the fair and for the other, the fairgrounds events, or every time they paint something, it benefits the fair, or every time they clean something or fix something, it benefits the fair. So. And then, like I said earlier, for us, the fair starts on June 1. That's when they start setting things up and getting things out and start getting ready for the fair. And it goes to the end of August for our staff. So 25% was what, I decided on many, many years ago for those types of positions, because they spend about 3 months a year minimum on the fair.
No, I think we all acknowledge the amount of work it takes. It's, I know it's a 10-day fair, but it's a lot more work than 10 days. So.
Well, and Leah, actually, I guess my observation, just being on this board and listening to you for the past several years, I'd say 25% was a bargain.
Yeah, I actually think that you guys are getting a heck of a deal.
I also agree with that.
Yeah. So with the budget, like I was just looking at one line item, like salaries, say it's like averages, $14,000, $15,000 a month out of the fair budget. Will that be increasing then significantly with the hire of 6 new employees?
Yeah, it will.
Okay.
And that was in the budget that I presented to you a couple of months ago.
Any other questions? All right, CAO report.
So Rachel sent me a little message that she had to jump off at 5 o'clock. So let's see if she's actually on with us. She was jumping off and then she was going to try to jump back on. Nope, she's not on. So, but she said she didn't have anything to report, but sorry that she wasn't able to be here.
Okay. Jerry's got his hand.
Yeah, I don't know what she would what she'd normally report anyway, but I can tell you I've been going around to the city councils in my district. There's 6 cities in District 4. I like to go around to them quarterly and kind of give up an updated on that. And so I could certainly give you the elevator speech on that. It's basically budget is first and foremost right now, because we go into our budget committees and things like that. So we're focused a lot on what that's going to look like. What's the messaging for that over the next couple of months? We've also got ARPA money. We've got phase 2 of ARPA money that is available, the $58 million, and what we have proposed to do with that. That's very controversial. So if you want more information on that, you could listen to my spiel at any one of the Hillsborough City Council meetings that I did Tuesday night, and you could, get my my take on all of that. Homelessness continues to be a big deal as well, and certainly what is referred to as time, place, and manner. That's an ordinance that we are working on, which basically will put much stronger guidelines on where and how long our homeless community can be in their camps and some of the guidelines there. So a pretty sensitive and controversial conversation that we're going to have with that. But that's what all of this, quite frankly, is between now and July 1. So we've got a very full plate of items that are not popular with all of our constituents. So we're all dealing with that. Other than that, yeah, I think it's, I'd like to say business as usual, but that's a week-to-week thing. I'd just like to say, I think I'm really excited, Leah, about the things that you've got planned and going for the fair this year. I mean, this will be our first real year that we have shaken the COVID remnants, and maybe we can enjoy life as it used to be, and then maybe even we won't get any 95 or 100-degree days. That would be spectacular.
That would be spectacular. All right.
All right, moving on to oral communications 2, or are we going to do this? Nope, we're doing oral communications 2. This time, anybody that hasn't spoken, which nobody has, you've got 5 minutes per person, maximum 30 minutes, if you would like to address the board. Do we have anybody that would like to talk to the board?
Please.
I have a couple things. 2 things. I'd like to invite the Fair Board to join the Hillsborough FFA Club April 22nd at 5:30 for a spaghetti dinner and bingo, and come down and see Bob Rollinger auction off all the goodies down there and play bingo and raise scholarship money for the kids. That's April 22nd. And I don't know if the Fair Board wants to buy a table. $100 for a table will cover the dinner. Also, I want to know if is Andy Dyke's position on the Fair Board been taken?
Well, it's currently vacant, but I'm taking the application that we've received to the Board of Commissioners. I believe it's April 25th.
Okay.
We've received 1 application.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
How about the spaghetti dinner? Any takers?
If you want to buy a table, just let us know and we can certainly make arrangements for that.
Okay.
What time and where is that, Bill? Because I know Rotary has an event in Sherwood that night that's going to conflict with that from my participation. So what time is that
It's at
spaghetti gig?
5:30 at the Hillsborough High School cafeteria. And it's going to be fun for all.
Yeah, those are great. Those are great things. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't think we've had anybody raise a hand for oral communications too.
Nope.
Okay, then we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move.
Seconded by Jerry.
Don't need one.
Okay, all in favor? Aye,
Aye.
right on. Next meeting, July 5th, 4:30.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See
You
you.
know.